what to use. Maybe now. Now. Yes. Yes. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the big show. I'm your host, Jerk, and if you have clicked on the thumbnail, then you already know what ship I'm featuring in this video. And I know I said I wouldn't show it again unless it was something special, and some of you said, oh, we don't mind. Nonetheless, you can see by the number that I have saved you a fair number of videos featuring this ship. So how is everyone doing? Good, I hope. I just knocked out ranked this morning in 19 matches, so that has put a pep in my step. I was using a stealth radar Atlanta for a good portion of it, but after a little under halfway, I switched over to the Boise as it has that heal, and I don't think I did worse than a 6 or 8 win game streak to close it out, which was a sigh of relief. But I don't know about you, I actually enjoy this rank sprint. It's easy enough that I don't get too enraged with the blue team. Speaking of the blue team, let's get to this match. Now, I don't need to put my commander and modules up, as my ways are fairly set in stone. I have experimented with putting Perceptive on as a skill, and if this were a competitive mode, then I would probably keep it on. But as this is standard battles, she will go by La Renarde, and she will hunt with only her cunningness to protect her. Now, I am not one to complain about the blue team too often, well, outside of ranked, which is why you don't see those videos. But because we have seen this ship and what it can do, and you are all quite familiar with the stats, I figured we would focus on what the blue team could be doing and why they could be doing it. As such, I'm going to be making heavy use of the grease pencil on the minimap. So let's address a few things first. On this map, and on many maps, teams like to overload a side, and you know, I think giving up the middle of the map is an awful idea. There are some maps like Tears of the Desert where it might be okay, but by and large, I do not recommend people giving up the center, and if you look to the minimap, I will show you why. Our team knows a few things right now. One, the Shimakaze is on C. They know that because the Z-23 is already gone. So they know that we have a 3-on-5 down here. Well, now that's a 3-on-4. And as such, if they are going to overload a side, you cannot sit back when you have a 6-on-4. So have the 3 ships in the center capped B and push through. Look at the amazing angles they could have on whichever side the red team chooses to overload. Second, while I commend the Cleveland that spawned over here on pushing up, using their radar to help remove the destroyer, there is no need to hightail it out of here. And the same can be said for the Vanguard behind me. Knowing where the majority of the ships are, they could reposition here and here, as I will be keeping these ships spotted and I will be torping them. Lastly, on the east side, we see a ship going around the outside of the islands, and that is a hipper. And while I don't normally condone such activities, it's actually not a bad idea. You see, our Ochakov has, let's call it, the mouth of sea covered. So, should the Shima try to sneak through, well, the Ochakov radar can pick it up, and with that many cruisers, it should be short work. And the hipper, going around along the outside, if they were to cut into sea in that little channel and use their hydro, well, the Shima would be trapped and they could start to take sea safely behind the islands. However, our hipper is going to continue down along the edge of sea and promptly get themselves deleted. Hippers thrive in close quarters, not out in the open. So we have lost our Akazuki on C. Our Cleveland that bailed from here and went over to B was deleted. Our Vanguard is heading for the island to the north, which, you know, with the blue Yamato heading over this way, isn't a bad idea. It could be a decent crossfire. I mean, if they were to make it there, which they won't. Sometimes, folks, you just gotta stop shooting to go dark and reposition. I am connecting here and there on some of these torpedoes and slowly whittling down the HP of ships over here. But as the blue team is starting to drop, I really want to just wrap up this side and head over to the east because I am the last destroyer and I can make quick work of the Shimakaze. But I have to win this side first, so that means we need to remove all of these ships. You know, and it could be said, well, I could bail right now, but I don't think that's the play, because we would be giving up this side, and these 4 ships would just be chasing through and taking out all the battleships behind me. So, remove these we will have to do, and that's going to require that I start playing a little bit more dangerously, and that's going to mean firing the guns. As you know, I've said that the guns on here, the AP, is very decent, and we get a Citadel on the Suzuya there. I think we're going to get another one, and then I'm going to finish it off with this salvo right here. Alright, so tied on ships. I spoke too soon. Alright, so we have the Prinz Eugen and the Champagne. Now, the Prinz Eugen is going to be a pain in my side. I really want to get rid of the Champagne first, and hopefully this Yamato can sink that Prinz Eugen, because I can get rid of a battleship a lot easier than a cruiser. Right. So, of the 3 ships that spawned today, I am the sole survivor. And on the other side, where we had a 6v3, as it turns out, they have yet to sink anything, and we have in fact lost a destroyer and a cruiser, and are not far away from losing everything else. When you overload a side, you need to accept the life choices you have made and deal with it. I had a match yesterday where I saw a single red Edinburgh successfully scare off 6 blue ships. And that's when I started wondering, is there a heroic effort mission that requires you to completely throw 10 games? And that might explain the gameplay that I've seen these past few days. Anyway, moving on here, I'm going to try and get a few more torps into that Champagne. I was really hoping they would damage con here and I would get lucky and clip them once more, but still no. Really need that Prinz Eugen taken care of. The slow realization of this match becoming a loss is starting to sink in. So if I can connect another flood on the Champagne, I'm going to have to fire my guns and try to get a fire going to finish it off. On the one hand, the red team only has 1 base capped. On the other, we are running out of time left in this match. We're just over halfway through, and I know it will take me a couple minutes to cross over to the other side. Capping B and winning on points isn't going to be an option at this point, as the time to get there and the time spent physically capping it won't be enough to take the lead. So, there is in fact only one possible way to win now, and that is going to be sinking the entire red team. And it's just me and this Yamato now. Now, you did see I did catch a flood on that Champagne, so I'm letting my guns turn around and we will start to fire. We get a fire, and let's get another salvo off. We get a double fire. So that's going to finish the Champagne, and I'm going to turn out and head towards the other direction. Because watch this. I'm sunk but still spotted. That means the Shimakaze is still within my range. So real quick, I'm going to suggest that the Yamato sinks the Prinz Eugen. This is the only thing I need this Yamato to do. Unfortunately, they are turning back towards the Shimakaze, and that's going to become an issue later. Now, I don't have Twist and Track on here, and I don't have Perceptive like I mentioned, but because I was spotted, still, I knew that Shimakaze was in my gun firing range, so I'm going directly at where I suspect that they are. And that's just experience. Who needs perceptive when you have lots of experience? So get spotted right here. Just going to keep going straight at him. There's the Shima, weak. And, okay. One more. Yeah. Oh, nice yoink by the secondaries of the Yamato. Well, I do have the torpedoes spotted, so hopefully that Yamato will be dodging them. And hopefully they will be sinking that Prinz Eugen. Oh, nope. No, neither of the things that I need to happen do. And so this is definitely going to be a loss. But I was thinking, well, yes, you could pad your stats, but maybe we can turn this into a Kraken. We do need that for a heroic effort, and maybe, just maybe, we could get the heroic effort on the 210,000 damage as well. So that's what I'm going to go for right now. On my post-game analysis after the match, looking back, I don't think there is another play I could have made here. If I were to go back for the Prinz Eugen, we lose, even if I sink them and stop them from capping A. If I were to go cap B, we would lose. If I tried to sink the rest of the red team, well, it's the only one that is possible of working, admittedly a very small chance. And looking back at how I played this match, had I abandoned A to reinforce the east side or capped B first, I still think we would have lost. Some games, you're just going to lose. It is a team-based game, and sometimes the team just can't pull it together, and that's fine. No one has a 100% win rate. And without really knowing what happened on the east, I can't honestly say where they went wrong. I can only say how I would have played it. It doesn't mean we would have won either, but had they taken advantage of their overload, I do think there would have been a better chance of winning. I'm just saying. Oh, and look over here. Just for a split second, we catch their cruiser. And this is why the Kléber is just so darn good. I am looking to get the double strike here, but this Iowa is definitely doing their best to ruin my plans. From the mist, a ship is taking form. Dear Lord, it's a full health Bismarck. Okay, I have to ask, what did this side of our team do? Oh, okay. Alright, so there's our fourth ship sunk, and we are on the Kraken hunt. Can we get that Iowa? No, not yet. But we are getting really close to the 210,000 damage needed for the heroic effort, and very close to the Kraken needed for the heroic effort. You saw it with the Embra, and now you're about to see it again. The torpedo firing angles and their reload, I don't know how anyone could possibly think there is a better ship in this game. We catch the Iowa's attention for just a second and watch. I'm gonna guess where they're headed. They're gonna be heading towards that channel to try and get out of here. Now let's try and get our torps off on the Bismarck as well. Alright, those behind me towards the Iowa, those are tracking very well, I must say. I think I zoom in here just so I can say, oh yeah, Iowa is a goner. So there's Kraken 273 in the Kléber, and we are getting very close to the 210,000 damage we need for the heroic effort. Some of those are looking okay. They must have their hydro on. 196,000, so we are 14,000 short of the amount that we need, and the clock is running out. So, desperate times call for desperate measures, excuse me. And I decided I was going to go ahead and see if they actually had their hydro on here by dipping into its range. They do not have it on, so going for the glory. Get detected. You would think that most battleship commanders would immediately change direction, but I'm watching, I was just tracking there. They aren't. And at that point, they can't really, because that island will prevent them from turning anywhere. I guess they could turn into the island and force themselves to stop. And of course, the Brennzeugen over there, you know, I can see right now I can't even drop another set of torps, so we're just going to have to hope these connect. And they do. So there's the damage that we needed, and that Brennzeugen is just too far away. So this is unfortunately going to be a loss. Alright, let's see the scoreboard. 2,774 XP and a loss. Man, if that had been a win, we're looking at around 4,100 XP, which would have been great, but no, the 4K XP game in the Kléber still eludes me, so obviously it should be getting a buff, right? Good game both teams, though a better G to one of them, they know who they are, and that's going to wrap it up for this one. If the Kléber needs a buff, give this video a like. If every other ship other than it needs a nerf, hit dislike. Questions, comments, leave them down below, and shouldn't I be making a ZF6 video? Well, if you want to see that, then you're probably going to want to hit subscribe. Alright, thanks for watching, folks. I'll get back out there for another one soon, and we will talk then.